morning. If you're new to the channel and you don't know why I'm called Poppa, it's because I have a grandson who calls me Poppa. And today I painted a rock for him that looks like, I hope it looks like, a dinosaur coming out of its egg. And I did that with acrylic paint on a rock that I bought from Lowe's hardware store. What do you think of him? Is he focused? Is he focused? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it was a rock I bought from Lowe's, and I haven't painted the back yet. I put a coat of like white on it, but it looks almost the same as it did unpainted. But I will paint the back with lots of cracks in it, because that's the fun part, is painting the cracks. And anyway, this was a little bit of a challenge, but not as hard as it might look. So I'll show you how I did that right now. Poppa paints rocks. Yes, and this is going to my little grandson when I get it done, obviously. Now, the one thing you cannot do is you can't stand it up like an egg. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to have it stand up, but I'm going to pretend it's standing up. I'm going to hold it like that. Hopefully it's visually focused on the camera. And I'm going to use, if you see my palette, it's all over the map. I mean, I have chosen everything. But I got 2 whites, 2 lemon yellows, 2, what is this called? Primer red. I have an orange. I don't know what it's called. And you know, you don't need to have an orange because you can use red and yellow. But it just makes it a little bit easier for me. I have yellow ochre. Again, you could take yellow and mix it with a little bit of green and maybe a little bit of burnt umber, which is there. But I have yellow ochre. I think that's called gray blue. And I think this is called blue gray, I think. I can't remember. Green. This is Payne's gray. There's my magic color right there. And I don't know, a light green, and I don't know what they all are, but I just figured I could mix them, or I could save myself time and just use them as they are. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is use the gray, Payne's gray, and I'm going to paint what I think is the inside of the rock, of the egg. I mean, sorry, it's an egg now, it's not a rock. And I was making a mistake yesterday. Yesterday was my 3rd rock ever. Because the first 2 rocks I painted painted them to look like hamburgers. But yesterday I did that landscape on a rock, which I loved. I loved doing that one. So, but of course, when you paint with watercolor and then you use the water a lot in watercolor, with acrylic, you can use the water to thin it out, I guess, if you're on a canvas. But you know, I think water and with acrylic is probably best used as just a cleaner, because once you, especially if you're painting a rock, because once you get it wet, it's hard to get it to work on the rock. And by the way, the rock itself is purchased at Lowe's. You know Lowe's, the hardware store? So that's where that comes from. So I'm just painting what I think is the inside of the rock. I want it to gradually become green on the inside. So I'm going to try to see if I can do that. If I can add some yellow to that green, I can make it brighter. I don't know why it would be bright inside of an egg. Maybe it's just light coming in from the side, but that's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing it being like that. It's kind of like you're doing a portrait backwards. You're doing the background first. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at this. And this would be the edge. This is the edge of the egg right here, where he pushed himself through already. And you got to have his hand coming over here. His little hand. His little baby dinosaur. How come little boys like dinosaurs so much? What's going on with that, huh? It's fun, though. Rob and I have a friend who told us when we're older than him, and so he was going through the stage when his boys were liking dinosaurs. And we brought it up one day, and he said, well, they're past the dinosaur stage. They're into the girl stage now. So they go from dinosaurs, being interested in dinosaurs, to being interested in girls. That's funny. It's a funny observation. And probably a true observation, too. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm adding some white here, because I want this to be like a lit area here in front of him. I'm just poking through it. I'm using the same brush as long as it doesn't interfere with the color on the brush. Okay. Now we want his hand over here. And this is acrylic, so the beautiful thing of acrylic is you can paint over it. You know? So now I'm painting in what I expect to be the edge of the egg, somewhat. This is where his hand's going to be, okay? Okay. And then up here, I guess we can have this started already. The outside of the egg. And then lots of cracks in the egg. Lots of cracks. So I think that's how I'm going to do that. And just like with watercolor, I'm going to have to let it dry. But it's so quick. It dries so quick. It's a no-brainer. And the birds are outside. The crows. All right, just keep working this egg. Maybe it's a green egg. Maybe that's why it's a little bit of green on the inside. See, the brush is kind of already got the colors in it. And we'll put some darkness on this side of the egg, because even though it's an actual three-dimensional object, I want it to look more three-dimensional, especially to the viewer, you know? Well, to the viewer, like if it's in a photograph. Because 90%, more than 90% of the people who see this are going to see it as a photograph. I doubt that my grandson is going to be carrying it around everywhere, showing them. I mean, maybe, yes, he goes to school, so maybe he'll be showing his school. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that when I post it on social media, that's all they're going to see, you know? So make this side of the egg with a rock dark. I'm not worried about the back right now, because I have to hold it. I have to hold the rock. All right, and then on this side, it's going to be light, so I can go ahead and use the yellows and the whites over here. And we can maybe add a little bit of blue down here, just to, I don't know if you can see that. It's so, my light is causing a shadow, which, of course, is going to happen. Can you see it better now? Add a little bit of green to that. Get it bright over here, bright with the yellows and the whites. As we come around the side here, see, my fingerprints are getting on there. I am a mess. I swear, I really don't know how to not be messy. Okay, now what did I want to do there? Okay, well, we're just going to keep working it. I know right now you can't see the dinosaur at all, but I just want to plot it out a little bit. Probably sketch it. Maybe there's the inside of that shell. Then it should come around the bottom. I'm going to try to lighten it up a bit. Get it looking lighter and lighter. We're trying to, here's the odd thing, we're trying to make a three-dimensional object, which is the rock, look three-dimensional, which it already does, of course, but we want it to look more three-dimensional. We want it to look exaggerated. We want it to look like there's light, even if there isn't light. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Sometimes I do. All right, I hope you're into the whole rock painting thing. I probably won't do many like this. I think I'm going to probably prefer doing the landscapes on these rocks. I was thinking how cool it would be to have like a theme, you know, where like a Florida theme, let's say Florida rocks or North Carolina rocks or someplace I'm somewhat familiar with, you know, and paint scenes from paint rocks, I should say, with scenes from like photographs I've taken in either here in Florida or up in North Carolina where I go a lot, or other places I've visited. And then there's also, you know, the other tool I use is Google Maps, and sometimes find pictures on there. I do screenshots. All right, now let's get this a little bit darker here. So the sunlight, the light's coming across here. There we go. Make it a little brighter there. Can you see that? So what I'm going to have to do is let it dry. Yeah. Alright, so that's all we have done so far. It's really close to being dry, but I have to turn off the camera while it dries. I'll go ahead and clean my brush, and I'll be right back. Alright, it's dry now, I guess. And the good thing is I'm not really going to touch it anymore. I think I can let it stay there. Because really all I have to do is, I had to hold it to get the edges. And then once it's all dry, I can paint the back of it. But for our dinosaur, let's try doing it now. I'm not sure how I want to do the dinosaur. Well, let me start with maybe start with a light blue, I guess. Just get some blue here and lighten it up. Yeah, that looks good. A light blue, maybe add a little bit of green to it. Dinosaurs are green? Are they? Ask any 6-year-old, he'll know. Or she'll know. 6-year-olds know about dinosaurs. Try to add a little blue. I'm trying to make it blue-green, like a turquoise, but I don't think I'm pulling that off very well. Okay. So let's just make our dinosaur this color. Sort of, kind of. That's the local, we'll call that the local color. Okay? And we'll put a lot of stuff on top of his head. Maybe that's the brighter spot, right? That's the front of his little newborn head. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of dinosaur this would be. And then a little bit of under light, like under his chin, coming around. Let's get some of this orange here, down here. Maybe I can make that lighter, a lighter orange. Yeah, there's his little body inside the egg. That's why I see it going. The light is coming across him like this. Okay. Let's go ahead and add some burnt umber to that mix to get it a little bit darker. This should be almost a shadow right there. That's not dark enough. Okay, here's to the rescue. Payne's Gray to the rescue. Add a little bit of that, see if it works. Yeah, I think that works. So it's not pure Payne's Gray. It's Payne's Gray mixed in with the burnt umber and the yellow and the green. It's kind of all mixed together. A little bit darker right there. Here we go. Let's go ahead and figure out where his mouth would be. Just be a little... I have no idea. I have no idea how to do this. Alright. Let's put some spots on the top of his head. We can always work them out later on. I do think I'm doing an impressionistic dinosaur. Yes, impressionistic. Let's get some of this green, like this yellow green, very yellow green over here. Let's see if I can get that to the back of his head. A little bit lighter than that. There we go. That's a good color, I guess. What color do you make a dinosaur? What's that new thing called? How to raise a dragon? Is that what it's called? I've seen ads for that, something called How to Raise a Dragon. I don't know what it is. I know there's a ride that they're building in Universal Studios called How to Raise a Dragon? How to build... I don't remember now what it's called. Okay. Dinosaur coming out of the egg. Okay, now let's get his. Let me use a smaller brush. I have a tiny little brush here that'll work good for his hand or his little claw. All right, I gotta put this to the side. I don't want it to dry, but I don't want to put it in the water either, because I want to keep it the way it is. All right, so his hand is here, coming around. There's the elbow. And inside the egg is very dark right there. And we'll have a claw coming over here. And I think what happens to happen here is the hand is outside the egg, so it's more about the shadow of the hand than the hand itself. So let me try to do that. Little tiny claws. Somebody's cutting their grass out there. Do you hear him? And you know why? Because it gets so hot around here that you kind of have to do it early in the morning. Otherwise, it's too hot. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just doing this with the intent of this being a shadow, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. The wonderful thing about acrylic is you don't have to plan everything out. You can change your mind. There we go. So we have 4 fingers, I guess. Oh no, there's one up here. So he's got 5 fingers. And they're all down here. We can go ahead and make some of these cracks in this egg. Start to do some of them. The cracks in the egg. That's kind of the fun part. That's kind of like adding reflections to a lake. Cracks in an egg. Especially dramatic cracks, because this guy's breaking out. He's coming into the world. Robin and her mother and I watched this TV thing one time, and it showed little baby lizards, like iguanas, that were hatching on some island. And as soon as they're born, they have to run to safety because there's going to be a hawk or something that comes to get them. I can't remember, or a snake, maybe it was a snake. But there was something that came and got them. Some predator on their island, wherever it was that they lived. And they had to run so fast to get to this place of safety. And you ask yourself, well, they've been in an egg. They haven't even been born yet. And how do they know? How do they know that they have to run to safety? Well, we call it instinct. I understand that. But where did they get that instinct from? That's where I think, to me, it looks, there's no question that's evidence of God right there. I know everybody doesn't agree with me. But to me, some kind of intelligent design. Right? All right, let's put some wrinkles around these eyes. If I tried to make a cute dinosaur, it wouldn't have come out. So it's well, maybe it is cute. I don't know. Yeah, all babies are cute, really. Here in Florida, the closest thing we have to dinosaurs, of course, is alligators. And you know what? A baby alligator is cute. It really is. It's got a cute look to it, a cute little nose, and it really is cute. All right, I probably used the wrong brush for this mouth earlier. Let's spank him. I don't want to give him, like, growling teeth. He's not there yet. He's not there with the big teeth yet. He's still an herbivore at this point in his life. He's still an herbivore. All right, let's use some of this brown for some of these colors over here. Give him some wrinkles. Some lines on the back of his head, too. Little tiny lines. He's starting to look like a dinosaur, I guess. All right, let's let that dry. I'll go ahead and put some more cracks in the egg. That's fun. It's fun putting cracks in the egg. Now I've got to be ambidextrous, use my left hand. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to spin it around. Get some cracks on this side. This is a fun idea. hopefully my little grandson likes it and says, "Does a dinosaur?" You know, what's really, if you think about what do I really want? What I really want is him to have this all of his life. So even after I'm gone, he can say, "Papa painted that for me. Papa painted that just for me." And maybe this video will still be around. And he'll hear me in the future. Because he doesn't really know I do these videos. But one day he'll find them. Maybe he's listening right now. Maybe it's the year 2050 or something. And he's listening. What would that be, 26 years in the future? Well, I could still be here, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, hey, I love you. I love you. See him talking from the other side. That's kind of spooky. I won't do that. No, never mind. That was just me being silly. Like always. Papa has always been silly. Papa has made a life of silly. That's why I'm an artist. I didn't get a real job. I was an artist. Yeah. All right. There's our. I'm going to go ahead and wash it out because I have the water there for some reason. I might as well use it to clean the brush. Oh, it's already starting to harden on the brush. Wow, it hardens real quickly. Let me clean the other brush too while I'm at it. So, hopefully you can see the outline. I'm not happy with it yet. It's not done, but it's the beginning, you know. It's like every painting. Every painting has an ugly stage. And this one might have more than one. Okay. Boy, that's a hard brush to clean. That tiny little brush. All right. Dry it off. I'll probably use that a lot on this painting. All right, now what I want to do is I want to see some of that needs to still dry, but some of it's wet. So I want to kind of give him orange eyes at that one side. I want to give him some more orange down here. I want to give him some orange claws. So those black lines I put look like an outline for the claws. I meant them to be shadows of the claws. But right now they look like outlines, but I'll use them as outlines. Let me use some yellow. All right, let me get some more dark. Trying to decide how I want to do this. I think the claws themselves very sharp. Just have to touch it a little bit. And then the edges of the fingers should have some light on them. All right, let me put some up here. some of this green and this yellow together up here. Down around his arm. Yellow, green. It looks like a dinosaur, but it really also looks like a lizard. Maybe this is just a lizard. We're gonna call it a dinosaur, though. We have to call it a dinosaur egg. A dinosaur egg. It's a Tuesday morning. People are going to work. The underside of his chin to be lit. Okay. A bit dark. Let's use this burnt umber. I put way too much paint on this palette. It's okay. It's okay. The bald eagle has a brow, and a lot of animals have that brow that almost looks like God intended a shadow right over their eyes, almost like a baseball cap. I find that fascinating too. That feature in animals. So it looks like I'm trying to give him one too. This white, get this arm here, it's in the light. The elbow's like sticking out of the egg a little bit. Yeah, let me do that. Comes down here. So that green yellow follows the curve of his hand. And each of his fingers, including that one, which I assume is his thumb. Do dinosaurs have thumbs? I have so many questions for Neil deGrasse. What's his name, Neil deGrasse? Who's that scientist guy? Oh, yeah, I'd ask him that. Do dinosaurs have thumbs? Opposable thumbs. That's what they say is the reason we can do everything we do, because of opposable thumbs. I suppose that's true, if we didn't have opposable thumbs. But we do have a brain, so do you notice a lot of things we can do that we don't have the tools for built into our body, because we had a brain built into our body. A good example would be flying. We can't fly without an airplane, right? We can jump, but we can't fly without an airplane. So I guess if we did not have opposable thumbs, we would have built something to serve as opposable thumbs. Now you might say, well, how would you have built it if you didn't have opposable thumbs? I don't know. That's for Neil Simon deGrasse, whatever his name is. That's for that guy to answer. Poppa just paints. Poppa doesn't know all the answers. Are you kidding me? You think I know all these answers? It's kind of funny, huh? One of the first things I enjoyed about doing this channel was chatting with you guys, because I don't know, it's just fun. Whoa, my brush came off of the thing. So it is fun just to chat with you. Now I'm going to take some of this green here, do some of that over there. I'll get some of this over here. Okay, we're going to get it. We're going to make this look like a cool dinosaur coming out of an egg. And I think I'll paint the egg also to look special. Just to give it time to dry, and I can add some of these things. The little nostril right there. I want to add more light to the underside of him, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm almost done, but it seems like it went too quick. I think I'm just having fun. I don't want to end it. That's what it is. But I want the inside of the egg on this side to be dark, and then the other side to be lit like that. And I'm going to clean the brush. All right, let me take some of this white here, very little bit. Add some light over here. Little areas of white, maybe some yellow. Just little places where he's got the light coming on him. some over here too. Little tiny lines where the light is reflecting off of his scaly skin, his scaly nature, the natural scaliness of a dinosaur. Okay, now let me add more shadow over here under his hand so that it looks less like an outline and more like a shadow. Some of that green in there, make it a little bit darker. I'll mix the Payne's gray with the green. There. I can use this to spread these colors a little bit. Just adding color, just to make it interesting. I'm gonna make that nostril a little bit bigger. Try to decide if That should be the back of him, I think, over there. So maybe a little bit more white and yellow. Yeah, I think that's him over there. Yeah, I think that looks all right. Now I want to do some. I'm going to try something with the shell itself. Let's see if I can make it look brighter over here than it does. And then maybe I'll add more cracks. Or paint around the cracks I've already made. And I don't want to do the whole shell because I want this side to be lit and the other side to be dark. So it's up here where it would start to fade. Right there. And this side would still be lit. Maybe it'll be a little bit of light on his fingers. And we can make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to take that Payne's Gray, that magical color. Payne's Gray is a magical color. The odd thing is the rock itself is probably already some form of Payne's Gray. If you think about what the original rock color was, right? Here we go. He's coming out of his shell. He's hatching. He's coming into the world. Here we go. And some more cracks in the eggshell. What do you think? Do you think he's done? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that little tiny brush. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of white right around his nostril just to give it that backlit effect. Maybe I should do that around some of his eye lines also. That was a little too much, I think. The only way I can fix that is to paint over it, I think. So I have to let that dry before I do that. I think what I'm trying to do is create some, he's hatching, so I just thought about something. if he's hatching, that means he's been in a wet environment all these months that he was inside the egg, right? So he would have a bit of a shine to him. He wouldn't be a dry dinosaur, he'd be a damp dinosaur. I think so. I put way too much paint on this palette. There we go. I think I'm okay with it. Okay, the only thing is that one little area right there, I messed it up. So it's got to be dark. It can't be light. I just don't think I like it like that. I think there would be a shadow there. I wanted a little hint of light, but not that much. All right, there's our dinosaur coming out of the egg. More breaks in the shell. There we go. I keep fussing with, you know what it is, I just like putting these cracks in this egg. That's for fun. That's what makes it fun. You know what I think I need? Just a few green dots up here. I feel like that wouldn't be all white like that. I feel like there would be some bumps or something. One more line. All right, kids. I think we're done with the dinosaur egg. What do you think? All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.